Okay, this is Chuck Weiss, and I'm here as part of What's in My Bag, and I have a few things in my bag to discuss with you.
Well, I was a men's room attendant in my last life at the Desert Inn Hotel. And I saw some hip cats buy your record over in Minneapolis. I know you're doing well. Sinatra's men, they had me rubbed out because I opened up my big mouth. Well, it wouldn't take very long to find out.
This is a Commodore record. The guy that owned this, his name was Milton Gabler, and he later became the head A&R guy at Decca Records. He signed Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Jordan and even Bill Haley to Decca, but he had his own little label at first, and this is a Billie Holiday record that he had. He was Billy Crystal's uncle, the comedian. I guess Billy Crystal grew up with all these great artists in his house, like eating dinner with him and coming over to visit.
Cover the waterfront. I'm watching the sea.
This next one, and talk about record art. Look at that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And the reason I picked it out is because I've never heard of it. But it's worth it because of the name of the song. It's called Heyfuss, Geyfuss. It sounds like some kind of a jazz or bebop thing. Interestingly enough, with 78s, each company made their own needles, so some of the grooves on some of the records are different, and you'd have to buy an RCA needle to play an RCA record, or a Columbia needle to play a Columbia record. So it got real messed up, and then there were certain companies that put out like a standard needle to play everything, and those didn't sound too good. So that's another thing you have to know about, but I never did learn all the needle things. Roy Milton was a jazz and big band guy here in LA. He played all the way through to like the 80s sometime, because I did a gig with him once at the Lingerie in the 80s. The Lingerie was a nightclub on Sunset and Wilcox. Everybody played there one time or another. I forgot that it's been a long time since it's open, you know. Certain things flipped me out when I was younger and on the radio, and then I just got the idea that I should go looking for these things. And when I was that young, if you went to a record store, there was no such thing as a reissue. So you had to either order the record, and if it was out of print, you had to go searching for it. And the only way you could search for it is to go to a Goodwill store or find a collector. And being a young kid, I didn't know how to find a collector, but, you know, through the cosmos, I met other collectors, and that's how got the ball rolling when I was about, 11 or 12. The first thing I wanted to seek out was a song called The House of Blue Lights. I remember I went to a record store and there was different versions of it, and I remembered which version I heard on the radio, and then I finally ended up getting it through another collector because no record store carried it at all. And it took me like a couple years to get it. You get these old 78s, and the amazing thing about them is they give you not only the artist, they give you the composer, and they give you everybody that played on it. And so then what you do as a collector is try to find songs by all those people, and then it gets real convoluted.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
I know, everywhere I go, rains on me.